Disclaimers. Sometimes the lyrics and who are singing them are hard to figure out. Believe it or not, sometimes I am wrong. Language and subject matter are mature, so you should be as well. This is of course my own interpretation in an attempt to find the objective meaning that was intended rather than my own desired ones. These are not facts, and Joey has made it clear he'll not clarify on the meaning of these songs. The characters are not the singers, but I use their names to make it easy. Well, long time no see. I have to admit, the holiday season was a lot, to say the least. Between extended visits from family, the usual holiday fluff, and the passing of one of my closest friends, I didn't think it wise to add to the load with videos. I was able to take some time to adjust to a new job, focus on writing, and be with family. Overall, it was a wonderful time, despite some cruelty life tends to throw. I'm sure I'll talk more on the surprise of grief in a future Ruin episode, but for now, we're changing gears. Ironically, Reddit is doing a month of celebration for TAD's anniversary of the Horror in the Wild, and coincidentally, I had spun a wheel to determine my next build, as Ruin was at a good stopping point for now, and King's build is above my skill level. Here's how that turned out. Okay, hi from the past, I think, because I haven't written the script or done the voiceover yet, so this is going to be the next installment thing that I'm working on. Ruin is going to be a longer project. King is going to be a difficult project, so I need a third one, and I think if I can get the baseline for any of these, I think it would work. All of these are more scenery placements rather than buildings. Elsa's Song is a war zone, Wild Blue Yonder is a field, Blossoms is a different field, Sacred Worlds is a forest, New York Torch Song is interesting. I think click to spin and it'll just pick the song we're doing. We don't have enough songs to worry about, really. Okay, Wild Blue Yonder it is. Hi, same me, new scene. We're going to approach this build differently in hopes that this eases my workload on editing, because I hate editing. For now, things will be scripted, as I realized all the cool things I want to share was getting lost with ADHD tangents and a lot of cutout ums. Luckily, I'm a writer, so this shouldn't be too painful. Wild Blue Yonder is about disillusionment, yearning and desire, and toxicity. I love to overcomplicate simplicity, so let's get weird and do an unnecessarily long deep dive into the dissection of Wild Blue Yonder. Wild Blue Yonder is the third track on TAD's second album, The Horror in the Wild. This was the first album I was introduced to, and the song was the first song I was addicted to singing. I love me some harmonies. Its upbeat, near jovial chords and tunes is juxtaposed by the scathing lyrics. This is not a fun song, despite how it sounds. And just to break script, I learned that Reddit deemed this their least favorite song, and I'm ashamed of y'all. So, first, let's look at the title. Wild Blue Yonder is, by definition, a journey to a faraway place, appealing and unknown. It's often depicted as clear blue skies and peaceful, outstretched fields. It's bells wanting adventure in the great wide somewhere. It's also the title of the U.S. Air Force's song. As far as this build goes, the vision is to have a literal wild blue yonder, a field of blue with odd foliage, a massive tree, some wolves, and into the woods on the other side, a setup for the next song, The Unwanted Animal. Wild Blue Yonder is a jarring shift from the song before it, the album's title track, Horror in the Wild, and the song after, Welly Boots. However, it's just as determined and melancholy as both of those tracks. We have Maddie and Joey's characters, singing together as well as over each other in argumentative, combating lyrics. Maddie sings, "Without you, I'm stronger. I'm no longer filled with wonder. How wrong you were." Joey says, You told me I was younger, that I was filled with wonder. How wrong you were." Immediately, we're in familiar territory. well, perhaps not familiar if you don't know the other songs. Here we see Maddie is very much the dominant force. She has yet again had to be the stronger of the two, and knows well he's holding her down. She's disillusioned and no longer filled with wonder. This is a wonderful setup to every other song from here, well into the third album, Ruin, where these themes are pretty consistent. Joey is reminiscent of the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed golden retriever, who's younger perhaps in mind alone, and he takes great offense to that. He has more surface joy, perhaps pride. He's more playful, but he's also more irresponsible and careless, at least in Maddie's eyes. This theory comes from other songs more than this moment, but contextually speaking, it still holds up. He disagrees with her. He's not young and filled with silly wonder. It's something he truly believes himself capable of to bring her to this joy. Joey sings, "For you, I would have gone so much blonder, seen that wild blue yonder and said, let's end this too." Maddie, "For you, my lungs were pulled asunder, saw that wild blue yonder and said, such endless blue." Joey is stating he'd go blonde for her. This is likely twofold. He's very self-conscious about his looks and seems rather meek, stated several times throughout several songs. For Joey, this is a running theme, boosting up himself, though more often than not, he fumbles and falls back into those insecurities. So if she wanted him to go blonde, he would. He'd change his appearance. It's sweet desperation. I much prefer the idea that he's willing to go to the wild blue yonder with her, spend all their time out in the sun with her. Hair naturally gets lighter in the sun, where if you have brown hair, it will turn blonde. Side note, does anyone remember that hair product Sun In the 90s and early 2000s? I was addicted to that stuff. Right, now to Maddie. Simply put, she's tired of wasting her breath talking about a place they'll never see and isn't real. Perhaps it's that, and only that. However, it's heartbreaking to realize that she was enchanted by his promises of this wild blue yonder, that the happiness in a world she wasn't familiar with is no longer in reach. It's honeymoon phases, essentially, and it's quickly falling apart. The imagery of her lungs blowing apart, her chest opening, her heart exposed, it's such an important piece of this puzzle. Wild Blue Yonder is, at least to me, directly connected to another song later down in this list, The Unwanted Animal, where regret, inner demons, and pain rip open her ribcage and take over from within. That will be my next lyric video, however. Now, both quoted what the other said. Maddie quotes him saying, "Such endless blue," an optimistic note. Joey quotes her saying, "Let's end this too," because she's done with it. Maddie says, "So, one last time, love, come and rip my clothes. Get a grip, we're grown-ups. Let's wander till the evers demand an encore." Joey says similar, "So one last time, love, come and rip my clothes off. Grip the bathroom rug, my skin's grown so soft. Let's wander till the evers demand an encore." This is so telling about where they both are, mentally and emotionally. Maddie uses harsh language and stops singing at the perfect time to express what's happening on her end, what she expects. She says to rip her clothes. She doesn't say off. This holds an ominous connotation of heated arguments going too far. She tells him instead to get a grip, they're grown-ups. Toddlers cling to clothes when screaming and yelling. They damage toys. Physical violence may lead to ripped clothes. However, I do have to say that I don't think this implies Joey's character has been or could ever be physically violent. The way this is worded sounds more like, "You might as well rip my clothes because you're acting like an unhinged fool that would." She expects the worst out of him because to her, he's already done the worst. Off script a little bit to kind of add on to this. Maddie's worst and the worst can be two different things. If she relies on promises and security, and he provides the promise of promises and security, and then he doesn't follow through, that is her worst. That is the disappointment she cannot afford to feel. So I want to make that distinction very clear. It is not the worst, but it's her worst. Especially within these other songs, she very much shows how upset she is that this has to be her life. Alright, back onto script. For him, he's trying to keep any semblance he can of their love before it's over, even if it's just physical. There's some fun wordplay with grip the bathroom rug, where bathroom rugs have sturdy grippers so they don't slip. His skin growing soft is another symbol of his mental youth, his lack of backbone, how easily he can hurt. He is vulnerable with her and begging her to understand that and not use it against him. The last sentence is really fun. Let's wander, not wonder, but wander, to walk around with no destination, implying there is no destination, no wild blue yonder. Did he lie to her? Did he promise more than he could deliver? Where did this wild blue yonder go? Was his view of this mystical place different than hers? Given the tumultuous relationship throughout all these songs, I would say so. They both wanted very different things, and they did not communicate these at best. Then you have Till These Efforts Demand an Encore. Listen, if I say the word, I don't know what happens. I'm new here. This is another deep theme throughout the albums, where prideful Joey loves the attention he gets through his creative outlets, where he likely uses their tumultuous relationship as a key focal point, and Maddie hates the attention. Quite a few times you'll see him talking highly of the applause while she scowls at it. For him, it's till the people demand an encore, give them what they want. To her, it's till these motherfuckers demand more from me. Another off-script moment, you will see this applaud back and forth where Joey enjoys it and Maddie does not, quite a few times. Flirting, I wasn't flirting, at the back of the bookshop, come and rip off my socks like you're blasting the locks off of a bank vault. Halt. This time we're done for. So even though Maddie is absolutely done, Joey is still trying, seemingly, to keep this relationship going. They use the idiom, knock your socks off, and turn it violent. We see the word rip again, which is such a powerful verb. They are demanding the other to explode their expectations out of the water if they want this to work. Maddie halts this idea. She's done more than enough. Joey realizes he can't give anymore. They're done for. I'm going to do something interesting when it comes to the chorus, as this is one of the few songs that has a set chorus that repeats without oddities, and even then it has some oddities. For instance, the harmonies switch every time. Maddie sings the lower part while Joey sings high, then by the second chorus they alternate. I don't think there's great meaning to this unless you want to say that Maddie wears the pants in the relationship and takes on the role Joey should have. A theme tied by Maddie's distaste for being the stronger one, but I think it's their stylistic choice more than anything else. Here's the basics of the chorus, using the first one as an example. Hide under the covers, we don't know what's out there. Could be wolves. Hold me, lover, like you used to. So tight, I'd bruise you. I'd bruise you, I'd bruise you too. Let's break down every version of the chorus here to avoid repeats. The third line is the one that always changes. Here it's could be wolves, but let's look at them all. Could be wolves, ominous by nature. Wolves are thought to bring death in lore. However, a wolf hid under the covers in Little Red Riding Hood, becoming an iconic image and a great visual for a call to the unwanted animal, which is referenced, I think, twice in this song. Also, they are hiding under the covers, something the wolf did to deceive and trick Red. Also, Joey was in The Witcher and loves recalling quotes and imagery, so it could very well just be mentioning the white wolf, but I strongly doubt it. Can't you hear the scratching? The follow-up chorus with yet another more stern reference to the unwanted animal. I love this so much. The scratching is so important. It is there. There is no could be. It's something scary, something dangerous, and they don't know if they can face it alone or together at all. I love it even more because this whole time, while I've been listening to The Amazing Devil and trying to dissect everything, I was like, I wonder why The Unwanted Animal isn't before this. So the Unwanted Animal song, is it before The Wild Blue Yonder? But it's because they reference it in a way where this feels like the start of the end. This is the first time they heard the scratching. So I'm going a little off script because I was going to mention this later, but I'm just so in love with the idea that these songs are interconnected. Maybe not all of them, and they're not chronologically in order for the most part, but you can definitely hear where the problem starts in songs like this. And then much later down the line, we get The Unwanted Animal. This was the first warning of what's worse to come. Back to the lyrics. Could be all our demons. The inner demons from the whore in the wild return immediately to show just how toxic and tainted they both are. They are acknowledging in chorus 3 that if it very well could just be them causing this fear and harming themselves and each other. Could be ghosts or monsters or robot vampires. I don't know. They know how absurd it might be to be this scared. And this is further cemented because this is the last iteration. So we've heard pieces of lyrics that suggest they are looking forward to the future, and it may be something scary, it may be something ridiculous, and it may be they're just overanalyzing, which who would want to do something silly like that? The second part of the chorus stays the same. They both desire to be held and loved as they once were, holding so tight it hurts. They miss that. They know it's not healthy, they know it's not real love at this point, but hell, once you have it and lose it, you realize you haven't had a sense of self in so long that you crave that back, even if it wasn't love. I bruise you too. I love you too. Maddie sings, every stone you threw, I stood on to better see the view. Simple. Everything he's done that's hurt her, she's going to use for her benefit, which alternately is, I think, one of Joey's fears. She'll take it and look to the future, maybe find her own wild blue yonder. These stones and bricks will return. We've already seen it in the song in Built Ruin. Joey says, I've got something in my eye. He looks away with many of their conflicts. He pretends not to notice. This was referenced in the song before. They thought us blind, we were just blinking. With that song, they talk about their mistreatment by, assumedly, family, particularly their father figure. And they said nothing because the family assumed they were blind to it. That wasn't the case. They were just biding time. Here, Joey takes what he learned from his youth and applies it when he thinks he's being mistreated, letting her take those stones and use them. After all, he's the one that threw them. Perhaps he sees his father in himself. Perhaps that's why he doesn't like his image. Also, can I just say, I just made that last connection while writing this. My God, I've sat with these theories for a year plus now and just realized that he has image and insecurity problems because he reflects his father. Brilliant. That's probably not true, but also it's my truth, okay? Maddie sings, I surrender what was, what could have been. All those wanders sit and wait for us. We tried. Try, please try for me. Come rest for the winter. Wear my jumper all night long. Those songs we sung, those words we flung, for fear of sound. Joey says similar, but starts with, don't you ever wonder what could have been? All those wonders sit and wait for us. We tried. I tried my best to get thinner. And then continues. We see repeated words and themes here. She resigns to the fact that everything that she thought would happen, the good, the promises, all that could have been, is not going to happen despite it being right there. She wants him to try for her. He was so close. It was so close. Joey uses wonder to try to entice Maddie into thinking about what might be. He's oblivious to her plight, either by choice or by ignorance, seeing the possible good in this. He did try. He tried to change his physical appearance and completely missed the point. Wearing the other's clothes means that they'll have to see each other again later. This is like, okay, let's just put this down for now. We'll reconvene when things aren't as bad and tension isn't so high. This could be seen as a strong plan from Maddie, but avoidance from Joey. Despite the pause, those things will linger. Those songs they sung, the good times, and the words they flung, the bad times, for fear of sound or excuses. In continuation, all those books that we both drowned, and the candle we lit, we'll use it to burn this whole place to the ground. I'm lost, I'm found in you. These two parts blend together, connecting one sentence with two meanings. For fear of sound can connect to the next part, all those books. We ignore each other with our own worlds, our side of the story, of what is happening with us, what you've done to me. We drown in these worlds, in our hobbies, in our ego. I know I'll keep saying this, but one of my favorite lines is, the candle we lit, we'll use it to burn this whole place to the ground. If you listen, Joey sings this with optimism, his voice is inflecting up. This is the vibe of painting the town red, trailblazing. He'll make his mark and it will be good. Maddie's is darker, a declaration. She's ready to burn this whole place to the ground. I'm lost in you and I'm found in you are two different things, but can be used to mean the same thing. English, am I right? Joey says, I'm lost in you. Since we understand his character here, we know he's lost in her, but he's lost himself. Lost his promises, lost all his goals, any sight for the future because he really fluffed up on getting lost in her. Who is he without her? We know he wears masks and hides himself behind stage paint and tries to be other people through various different songs, but he doesn't know who he is without her. However, she did the opposite. She wised up, and though it's painful, had to be her own person to a fault. She can see herself clearly because she sees the habits that she puts in him. It's not good, but it's familiar. She has ideas of who she wants to be, but who she is so connected to him. She sings, every brick you're hurled, I'll use to build this world, this world, this world, this world. Maddie sings the last lines by herself, outside of the chorus's ending, reiterating that she will take these bricks and build this world. It's the world she wants, not him. It's likely to be unhealthy, too many walls, things like that. But she's grown stronger from this, quote unquote. Don't worry, we'll see these bricks again and see how much is left standing. But here she's hopeful about it. The buildup of how she sings this world means it's going to be what she wants. The chorus, however, repeats twice. And I think because of the progression of what could be at that door, they will go back to their ways and continue the bruise. So in short, the wild blue yonder is a metaphor for a better place in their relationship, one they'll likely never see. Testing. We're testing video in case I messed up because that's what I like to do.